Hey guys, welcome to another voiceover slash tutorial. I'm not sure if this qualifies as one, but we will be doing another painting a walkthrough. So I will be talking about my process while I paint this piece. So this piece will be on Qiyanna, True Damage for the League of Legends new skin series. So what's interesting about this character is that they did collab with LV to create a designer skin, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I actually like her non-designer skin better, but I wanted to bring a bit of that designer into her normal skin. So I'm gonna do my take and let's see where this goes. So I already have a rough sketch of what I wanted her to pose like, so I took inspiration from the music video, which is really cool. I really love the song. Like Riot is like really they're really good at producing music videos. I think they should be releasing some do more in that field, I guess is what I'm saying. I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, so this is our sketch. And I've already separated them into different groups, so I always keep a background group and a step group to record the process, and also we have the Qiyanna folder here which I will be painting her in. So as always, let's go ahead and start by selecting the head layer and just kind of filling that in. And then next we have the body layer, so I'm gonna just quickly use our lasso tool to help us isolate what we need for this layer. And then last but not least, the bottom layer, usually separate them by overlappment, so whatever's overlapping on top is the top higher layer. So I'm gonna call this spot and then sleeves. Yes, I'm trying to avoid painting hands, so as you can see, her hands are hidden. Our back. Oh, sorry guys, so what I meant to say was I'm back. So I did do a quick background mock-up. It's pretty simple. So I did take a picture. I blurred it. I'm not sure why it has this sort of effect, but it did. So yeah, this is the result of it. And also I did add an overlay. So what I did was look for a picture of a chandelier, so I'll show you guys what that looks like. So this is the image by itself, and then I changed the mode to make it kind of illuminate, put it on screen, which is sort of like a additional layer. Make it brighter and overlay that on top of what I have for the background. So in the music video, Qiyanna's kind of her background is pretty shiny and chandelier-like, so that's the inspiration for that. I might end up changing this in the long run, but for now this is what I have, and I kind of feel like I should move her up a bit like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and re-add this part, and she is super curvy, which I like to paint, which is good. And also she's got earrings, but we will be adding that later on. I usually like to stack the small details later on, but for now this is what we have. So once again, I'm going to be referencing her True Damage skin, the non-designer version. So what was interesting was I found it interesting that Louis Vuitton choose to collab with League of Legends, knowing that they're aiming at a younger audience, and plus they are aiming at a very niche market. I feel probably not in Asia, but over here, gamers that also like designer stuff. And I think what's interesting is that they pick a female character to put designer clothes on. I think it would have been really cool if Echo got like a designer outfit too, because you know, like I feel like there's more gamers, male gamers that are into designer that play League of Legends than female. But yeah, either way, I'm glad they did because it did come out with some really cool skins. So yeah, so I'm gonna start off by just kind of coloring in her skin tone real fast using the airbrush, and I'm gonna quickly go ahead and lock down those colors. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So she has a cute pink top, kind of like a baby pink. And then with a white band and black pants. There we go. And then white here. And she's got like a gold neck piece, which I will be elaborating on later on. And for now, I'm just gonna leave her cleavage hanging like that because there is like a black mesh which I'll add later on. But for now, I prefer to sort of add the bare minimum structure for now, especially when it comes to painting skin, which is a tricky thing in itself. And last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and add her jacket, the lining of her jacket, which is a dark color, which contours, really frames her body really well. And then of course the sleeve, which is of this cool iridescent color, which I'll be using this color as a base and maybe add some shading after. I think I should make her sleeve a bit, maybe a bit brighter, just to frame her better. And of course the face, her hair is really fun too, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm gonna go ahead and really fast blocking the hair, the base of the hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and color it the blue shade first and then add the pink. Like blue and pink is one of my favorite combination, cotton candy combination. I just think it looks so pretty. So I'm just gonna see, adding a bit. Okay, so got the blue all here, so pink up here like that. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and we can go ahead and start shading it in. So for this, I'm gonna use the trusty lasso tool to help me break down the shading a bit, like really fast. I can do a very fast base of where the general shading that I think will be at. So that's actually, let me shade the head as well. So I'm thinking maybe have the shadow like that, where her bangs is casting like a super hard shadow on her nose. I'm not sure yet. And then mouth, I did want to give her like an open mouth because in the music video she did that, and I thought it was pretty in character for her. So get started, apply a bit of shadow here first, and then on the face. So that's what we have. I feel like I probably should have did a first step without, you know what, I'll do that real fast to show you guys the sketch. So I'm gonna, oh wait, I already had that, okay, never mind. So this is step 2, you can save. And lower the opacity of the lines. Usually the lines get in the way. You know what, I feel like I might have to rework this background later on. Okay, merge it down and play around with the filter. So oftentimes I do like to play with some of these filters, you know, sometimes they can give some interesting effects, so I encourage you guys to play around with that. Okay, so now back to the skin. So let's go ahead and give her a nice tanned look. And I do plan to contrast her skin tone with the rest of the outfit. And what I'm doing is using, so this is my setting for the brush, in between soft and hard brush. And just gonna go down and kind of shade it. Using the lasso tool again to help me separate some of the tiny skin crevices so I can separate them. And blend that in. I do want to create a bit of a tight look here, so I am adding shadow, especially near the strap here, just to create that dent in the skin. I guess you could call it that. It sounds pretty hardcore. I don't have the right words for it. And just kind of go off of that. And I'm gonna use the lasso tool again to help me paint her cleavage. Cleavage is like, I think for me, when it comes to painting female characters, at first it's the face and then it's the cleavage. Both of those areas need to be like good in my books. And just select the other side with the lasso tool to help me paint sharply and easier. I'm just going to smooth that out. Oh, okay, I can add a bit of pink. And the rest of the bra. So this is a little more different than the official top. You know how I am, I always like to make it a bit sexier, a bit more revealing. Even when it comes to guys, I do that. So don't worry. And I'm going to select a darker color. Now I do see that her skin undertone is orange. So that's why I'm using a warmer shadow for that. And I'm gonna add a bit more shadow there. And on the neck, I'm gonna go ahead and try to render out her neck piece a bit. Like that. Her shoulder really needs to be sort of like the lightest point of her body, just to show the light source which is coming from above. For now, maybe I'll change it later, but for now that's that. And then of course the shadow, I'm gonna have to add a bit of orange in there because right now it's very, very gray. And yes, she is a her skin is very rich, so obviously can't have a gray too much gray in there. And she's got like really cool purple lipstick. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a pretty rough pass of that. And the tongue color, gonna go ahead and use that pink. Add a bit of red in there, a bit of light color in there, and dark color just to block in the lips. And teeth, probably gonna darken that up because nobody's teeth is that white. Even in drawing it might look a bit weird, so take that down. Shade the nose. Add a bit of lighting on the lips. Guess this should be okay. And then I'm gonna real fast kind of block in her face. Like that. Gotta get her makeup just right. And she's got a really deep cut crease makeup look. And she's got really pretty gold eyes, so gotta emphasize that. And really good tool to emphasize that is her dark eyeliner. So having it on a separate layer means I can kind of play around with it if I feel like I'm not getting the shape or the angle right. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And even so, it might still look weird, so I have to change it up. Gonna go ahead and darken her lid here and put in her eye, and gonna go with a bluish tint for the whites of the eyes, and then gold. So this might not end up too prominent or too bright, just because gotta make sure it blends in with the surrounding. So after that, add a bit of eyelashes, which always helps. Even with guys nowadays, like I feel like adding a bit of eyelash just really frames the eyes for the character. Kind of want to give her a sultry look, so what I'll try to do is play around with the placement of the eyes and the shape by doing the what's it called, warp function for free transformation tool. And let's see if we can angle her eyebrows a bit more. And of course we have the hair, just gonna use the airbrush to smooth that out a bit. And paint her hair upwards, making them converge into the ponytail as the design. And refine the eyes a bit more. And then the nose. Gonna add a bit of a warm tone down here. There we go. And then add a bit of highlight to the lips. feel like I'm not painting the tongue right, but hopefully it is. And of course, oh wait, hold on, before that I'm gonna go onto the bottom layer. So I see I actually need to trim that jawline a bit upwards. So she's got a nice sharp jawline, and then paint back the hair. And of course I have the ear, so the ear. Oh, so I'm pretty fairly satisfied with the face. I think maybe the mouth could be a bit smaller. Like that. And the ear, let's put it here. And then after I do the rough shape, I'm going to go ahead and sketch out the ear in more detail. Like that, real fast as a guide. I'm going to shade it real quick. And then I'm going to try to kind of add a bit more volume to her jawline. And just add a bit more highlight to her face. Like that. Might change it after. Add a bit of shadow to that side. And add a bit of shadow underneath. And I'm going to try to kind of put back her hair and then add a little bit of shadow to kind of demonstrate that hair casting light on the face. So this is what I have for now. And let's see. Yes. Let's work on her pants. So she's wearing high-rise pants. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little shine because I think it fits the pop star look. Well, I guess in this case she's it's not pop, it's I don't want to offend nobody, so I'm not gonna say it. But yes. And shade the chest area, which is super important when it comes to painting female characters. For me, my standards, of course. Not every artist feel the same. But I always aim to paint soft and sexy and curvy, so that's what I usually focus the most on. And now I'm gonna contour the other side of it. Shadow first, layer on the shadow. Actually, add a bit of highlight. And then I'm going to see if I can make the cleavage a bit more like squeezed on the top type of feel. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a bit of line work and do that. I'm gonna add a bit of highlight there so it feels more squeezed in. Gonna go ahead, contour the other skin area so I can add shadow and highlight and kind of shade it how I want it. Let's go with this. And I want the white part to be a bit brighter so it stands out, contrasts her deeper skin tone. So it's really about creating enough contrast so it stands out. So everything needs to stand out for me. And I'm gonna shade the top a bit, just add some basic highlight. Kind of, I'm not sure, maybe I can do something interesting with her top, but later. So now let's take a look before, after. So it is a little refined, however I didn't really touch the whole, go through the whole look, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So let's see, I'm gonna add a bit of highlight here, like that, and just a bit of it here. And it seems like she does have her jacket inside does have a little detailing like that, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that in. And also real quick, gonna go ahead, armpit area, add that in and blend that in as well, and here too, just kind of softly blend that in. I'm gonna select underneath the chest area and darken for that shadow look. Gotta stack on that shadow, and also probably need to work on the broad look so it doesn't look uneven. So just gonna change that. Yes. And just gonna refine it a bit more. Darken that up. And just kind of bring the skin over a bit. So I'm trying to create a really tight look. So there's gonna be a lot of poofy, well, what's it called, skin folding, which I like the look of. I feel like it makes the female or the male character look more squished in their clothing, which I like the look of. Yes, all their clothes are too small for them and they're popping out of them. There we go. And then I'm going to, haven't rotated or flipped in a while, so we flip it, we're going to see how that looks. Actually, I think it's progressing pretty nicely. So the last thing that I need to do is just quickly do a bit of a rendering on the sleeve so it doesn't feel neglected. But I want to keep her sleeve fairly bright. I feel like maybe the background is maybe like that. I feel like maybe the background is a bit too bright, like this whole bright space, and maybe it's too bright. I'll work on the background later. For now, I'm gonna focus on the character as much as I can. So yeah, this is our third step. Alright guys, so I did try to adjust the background color just slightly because in the music video her the chandelier shiny thing was more of a pink color, so I thought maybe I could try that, but you know, it might not work out, but it's worth a try. And play around with the mode as well. Sometimes you can discover some really cool colors, and that's usually how I find certain techniques, is by just like playing around with stuff. Anyways, let's go back to her, and let's kind of work on a few things. First, I want the bra to kind of be a bit more form-fitting, I guess you could say, and a bit more round as well. So maybe this shape, I'm gonna lock that down real quick. And then I'm going to softly shade that. Merge down, and then I'm going to go here, copy, Control Shift C, Control Shift V to paste, and then Control T to free transformation, and then I can work on the cleavage a bit. I want to give it a very organic shape, so you can see it's not super symmetrical, it's kind of like squished. That's the look I'm going for. And then I'm gonna go back here to this piece here, and I'm gonna select it using the lasso tool. I'm going to quickly select and then smooth out. Actually, maybe I can do it like that. Sort of give it a more curved brow look, maybe something like that. And then what I want to do is include a golden string here. So the bra is going to be attached like this to the band here, but I also want a bit of our skin peeking through, so I'll be adding some fleshy tone here. And of course I'm giving the skin, giving it some fold as it kind of get tucked in by the bra and stuff. Same for here, and I'm just gonna try to smooth that out and gonna clean up the shape there a bit. So I want her top to be like super tight. That's why it's like that. And there we go. I'm going to just very softly blend that in. I will add a little bit of a orangish tone to her skin in the shadow area mostly. Continue to add a bit more of that warm tone on the side here, as well as here too, especially where the fold is at. And I'm going to select the band here. I'm going to apply some shadow underneath, just so her bra has some shadow casted, which creates a more 3D effect. And back again with the skin squeeze So I'm going to select this color right here and apply it on top, which I feel creates a really tight look, as if the fabric is really against her skin. So that's what we want to create. Well, I want to create every time. Every time I paint, the clothes is too tight for the character, but it's more fun that way. And I'm going to isolate this patch of skin again, just like what I did before, and then we're gonna apply highlight on top, shadow on the bottom, I think. Okay, and then last but not least, we have that part. So same as before, isolate, and I'm gonna add a teeny bit of highlight, and then teeny bit of highlight there, and then using the lasso tool, isolate the cleavage a bit and just select it again on the other side and try to blend it in as best as I can. I'm gonna go ahead again with the pink and just create some sort of detailing, you could say. And I'm going to use the gold bit once again, and she does also have a gold kind of like this connected to the dress. I'm gonna go ahead and use a more prominent yellow for the straps of her top. So I'm gonna go ahead and line them so that it's easier to see. I'm gonna have one here, and that should be it. I will use my lasso tool once again, select the white bit for top. I'm gonna select a bluish tone. Hopefully this will stand out, and still keeping the shadow over there. And actually I should add a bit of shadow here as well, especially where the cleavage is sort of overlapping the band here. I'm just gonna add that in, and I'll try to connect the shadow, so shadow of the cleavage, cast it all the way down. And I'm going to lighten this up so I can really isolate where that shadow is going, and same for the skin. So really want to make sure that the shadow is obvious where it's at, and I'll just try to blend it in. Actually, I might need to do something like that. I'm going to merge it down, and then copy and paste. I will then go and make it darker so it's very obvious now. I gotta make sure it's obvious, and then going to try to fix the top a bit, just giving it some indentation or folds to the part where it's attached to the golden thingy, so it feels more realistic in terms of fabric. And then just kind of fold that. I'm going to gradually bring up the shadow of the top, up. Same for this side. Bring it up so there's some volume. And then I'm going to go ahead, really isolate these straps like that, so that there is a shadow surrounding the strap. Same for here, I'll have to do that later on. And then I'm going to bring down the arm, and then I'm going to try to make the chest a bit poofier, especially where the bra is kind of just really sticking to the skin. So the skin's gonna create a well, the chest is gonna have a bit of a silhouette popping out, and we're gonna create a dip where the fabric and the skin meets, so that it feels like the bra is really tight. And then just kind of shade that in. Also here, what I'll do is reselect the shadow. Gonna go with a warmer tone, and then I'm gonna use that as the new shadow. And also it helps to add a bit of color into the gray tone that we had before. And then what we'll do is lock down the waist part, and then I'm gonna start shading it a bit more. I've gotta get that rib cage going. Just kind of selecting that, and then of course get a bit of ab action going on. Just have that impression of it, have a little bit of highlight on the other side too, but mostly there won't be too much detail as she is wearing high-rise pants. I'm gonna go ahead and add, you know what, a bit of a orange, maybe like this orangey shades to warm up the body, to have a deeper skin tone, and then apply shadow to it like that. And then I've gotta fix this part right here. And now time to do the pants. So she does have sort of like leather or shiny pants, which I'll see what we can do about the texture. Mostly it'll probably be about contrast, so I'm gonna go ahead and start adding them highlights, especially to the top. Maybe I can do a sharp highlight with the hip like this. And what I'll do here, as you can see, it looks a little separated from the waistband. What I'll do is select the waistband, copy, Ctrl-Shift-V, paste, and then just bring, oh god, I guess I didn't do that right. First I have to merge it down, copy, Ctrl-Shift-V, and then warp upwards. That way you can create a sharp line. Oh, I actually like that color. It's a bit dark, so what I'll do is sort of erase gradually like this, lock that down, merge down, and also perhaps copy, Shift V, warp. I'm going to also play with the maybe like play with the shape of where the skin is gonna be at. So I think this is a good, should be okay. And then zoom out, rotate. Alright guys, let's see what else we can work on. I think what I will do next is gonna go select the pink top section, copy, Control Shift V to paste. Adjustment brightness, I'm going to kind of make them a bit brighter. Now what does is it really contrasts with her skin. So yeah, it's a good contrast because I do want her skin to be deeper than the clothing. Usually that's a way to kind of frame the character as well. Like if your character is super pale, you would make them wear maybe darker clothing, and that would also make their skin pop. So it's similar idea. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use the trusty smudge tool, which is a great tool to just very fast kind of blend some of the rough areas in. However, I don't exactly depend on it because you know you can go overboard, so it should be used in moderation. Added a bit of pink onto the shadow, and now I am gradually blending the shadow in with the skin. And I'm gonna zoom in here and kind of give the white part some kind of a volume. So by very softly highlighting a band like that. And then just kind of blend them in and or correct and refine the shape. Maybe I should make this bit slightly darker. Do want to make sure it is a little darker so that is not too abrupt, because it is still kind of touching the white part, and so it's two elements touching. So every time that happens, usually there's a bit of shadow occurring, so I always have to do that afterwards. And we're just going to kind of blend that, and going in with the lasso, I'm going to use a slightly darker color to really make things pop, and then I'm going to add a bit of highlight here too, and use a bit of shadow to contour the skin. Same with here, I feel. I'm going to extend the cleavage down here so it's like really tight. Super tight, super tight. Like that. And just kind of darken that and soften that shadow, and back to the cleavage on this side. Have to blend that in now too, make sure it's nice and smooth. Just adding a bit of shadow there, and same for the shadow in this area. I'm just going to extend this all the way there. And we're just going to blend, blend, blend. Make it soft in terms of transition. Now I'm going to go select that part. And I'm going to apply a bit of shadow here. Like that. Now gonna go to this side and trying to refine the strap here, and trying to make sure it makes sense, like have some sort of small design there. And once again, going here and create that detail, the ridge detail on the bra. There we go. Now this side. Like that. Okay, I think that should be fine. And of course, now we go here and really make sure it's nice and clean. So we're just cleaning up the shape. Nothing too crazy, using the airbrush / solid round brush. And clean up that shape. Something like that. And going back here, add a bit of highlight on the abs. And add darker shadow here. Gonna go for more of a reddish tone. Actually no, it has to be just a bit darker like that. And then what we'll do is select the shoulder bit, and we're going to apply, let's unlock, apply a little bit of color to the shoulder and maybe add a little shine to it. And then add the shadow, or actually maybe we should add the shadow like this so you can see a bit of the lighting on the side like that. And then select and get a bit of a bit more shadow on the cleavage, just on this area, and then slowly I'm going to add a bit of blue towards here and gradually gonna blend that in. Like that. And then what I'll do now is really emphasize the shadow. So I'm gonna select that area, also selecting this area for now, and I'm going to select a bit of the arm as well. So copy, Ctrl+Shift+V to paste and darken like that. That way it helps darken the skin just a bit. You know, I can never be too careful when it comes to painting dark skin. It's like such a taboo nowadays. I try my best to go with the character design, and even sometimes make the skin just a little bit darker, because if it's not, even if I do kind of base it off of the character skin tone, there's somebody gonna be triggered about it. It's so taboo for for artists to draw dark skin character. It's just society is so sensitive nowadays. The if if you make it slightly lighter, or if they don't think it's dark enough, you're gonna be called a racist, like, honestly. But despite all that, I still wanted to paint this character because her design is so cool. I really like it. So I hope that the final result will do her justice. So yeah, that was a little rant from me. But yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty. Her design's super pretty, so I wanted to draw her. So yeah, we've darkened it, and as you can see, it does look a little better in terms of contrast. Like, there's more contrast, which means more interest in the piece. So a lot of times I do like to paint high contrast, high detail, just because for some reason my brain always tells me it's not enough if it's too simple. So, but you know what, simple is also good. It's just I can never do it. It's just I always have to tell myself it's not enough, you gotta add more. So yeah, but I'm happy with this shadow. I think it adds a pretty good look to her. And I'm going to kind of darken her pants up a bit, so we can really emphasize on that, the shine. So I'm gonna see where I can put the shine, get a bit of shiny effect on the corner here, and then bring it down like this, kind of just contour a curve. She is so curvy, which is great. I kind of wanted to do a like a full body for her, but for the sake of this tutorial, which I think if I do full body it's gonna end up being quite a bit of time, and plus I won't be able to focus too much on one area. But if I do a portrait like this, I can focus more on the face and the chest, and also the small clothing elements that I will be adding. So yeah, let's add a bit of a skin tone. So I will be adding that in, just because it might give a variety in tones in the clothing, which I always try to do. I'm going to try to add a bit of wrinkles, and then what I'll do is select a big portion like this and then add a shiny bit like that. And I do know her pants does have additional detail, like I think, let me check real fast. I think that's how it looks. It's like on the side. So when I have that, copy, Control Shift V, and then lighten that up. Okay, that actually works pretty well. And I feel like if I can make this a little bit brighter, it'll help make her skin look a bit more deeper, which adds a pretty good contrast. Okay, I think what I am going to do is make this part just a lot brighter, so that the dark bit of her pants will stand out more. And I'm also going to make this part a bit lighter too. So there we go. And I'm going to select a bit of this color, and then I'm going to add it into the shaded area. Add a bit of yellow to there, and also add a bit of yellow to here, like that. That way it creates a really nice contrast. Now what we could do is work on this part, which actually shouldn't take too long. Okay, hold on. I see. Let's kind of shade it casually for now. And I'm gonna just do a simple gradient with the airbrush, very casual shading, not super detailed, because I'm gonna be painting in the quilted texture of her jacket very soon. So that's what we have. I'm going to delete this part, and then what we'll do is do the quilt. But first, let me see if I think I can do a bit more step before doing the adding the next step. So for the quilt, I feel like it's a fairly simple process. I like to do the squares first, or the quilted diamonds. So just kind of do the lines for now. For here, just like that, and then after just add the other quilt in, like so. And then after that, all you have to do is just add definition to the quilts to make them look luxurious and puffy. So add a bit of definition first. Like that. So definition first, and then after we add the shadow for each of the quilts. And we gotta pick one direction where the highlight will be showing up at, so choose carefully, guys. Just kidding. Just choose one direction and go with it. So yeah, just gonna go ahead and do that, and already you can see it's created that poofy look, which is what we want. And so this side as well, except instead of using shadow, I'm gonna go ahead and use highlight a bit more. There we go. Okay, time to zoom in real fast, and what I'll do now is, using our trusty lasso tool, we're just going to blend in the corners here, like so. Now it's mostly time to just refine and to blend stuff in, and also you can use the smudge tool as well to help you sort of quickly blend this in. Additionally, you can also use the airbrush, or alternatively actually, but it's whatever you feel like. I feel like sometimes using the smudge tool is faster, but it's really up to you to find out what you're most comfortable with. Now that that's done, what I'll do next is I'm just gonna select some of these area and Control Shift copy, Control Shift V to paste, go into adjustment, brightness, turn down, merge down. Sorry, that sounded super robotic, but yes, just gonna go ahead and darken the shadow a bit just to create that nice contrast, as we always want to do that, and just kind of blend whatever you just did, just blend it in. And then of course I gotta also soften and blend out. Now that we have that done, right now it's leaning more towards blue. However, in the original version it is more of a black tone. So what we can do now is, after you're happy, you merge everything down, just select the bit where the color isn't exactly what it is, and all I have to do is just to adjust it. So now it's a bit more of a grayish blackish tone. And then go into contrast and adjust the contrast. So I did want to make it a bit more contrasty because I do want to make it shiny, like a shiny puffer jacket type of material similar to her clothing. But before we do that, I'm going to go back to the sleeve because we have been neglecting the sleeve for quite some time. So going back to the sleeve very, very fast, gonna do a bit of attempt at, actually maybe I can do something like that. So I'm gonna create a bit of a volume for the jacket that's kind of part of the collar area and not part of the arm sleeve area. So we're gonna do it like this, and keeping in mind that I want to still keep the puffer, the contrast very, very apparent. So I'm not using very dark shadow for this. And then now to the armpit, just gonna add a bit of puff texture, or puff shadow. Yes, puff shadow. And blending that in. Nothing too serious here, especially with this type of texture. I'm trying to make sure it's poofy, so I try not to add as much clothing fold in there as I usually do. Sometimes I go a little too crazy, but since her outfit is quite poofy and big, I do want to maintain that. So this is what we have. And also what I think I should do is remove the bright highlight on the side, just because it is kind of in shadow. And what else I can do is add shadow all the way up here so that the highlight is really defined. So you have the highlight here, and then we can even bring the highlight all the way down here, so that way it's really, really obvious where the highlight is. Now that we have done that, her puffer jacket is a bit iridescent, and I do see a bit of like purplish tone, so we can definitely try to incorporate a bit of that tone in there, like this. And on top of that, it also has a bit of a bluish tone, a little bit more so than the blue that I use, so I can incorporate that in as well. So that's what we have. It's a little iridescent, which is good. Now we go to the other side and we do pretty much similar process. So first I'm going to make sure the shading is correct on the sleeves, and I will be giving a bit of a volume to the jacket itself and not the sleeve area yet, like that, I guess. And then I'm going to bring this down like that. I want it to look really poofy, so let's extend the jacket poofiness a bit more. And then also I'm going to use a bluish shadow to give a bit of a volume to the puffer jacket there, so it feels nice and big. I guess we can, or actually should I make the jacket a bit poofier? Like this poofier. Might be a bit much. Actually, it's fine. And then let's zoom in real quick. I'm going to add a bit of shadow there, like that. kind of want to make it look like puffy jacket having two quilts, so two big quilts. I'm not sure if this will communicate well. I'm going to kind of render the sleeve a bit more, so what I'll do is select only the sleeve area, and then I'm going to add a bit of shadow down here. Blend that in, and then we have another poof area here for the sleeve. So it's nice and big and luxurious looking and very, very pillow-like. Like that. And then at the same time, I need to kind of... Actually, should I add a bit of that quilted look, bring that down here as well. I'm going to now select this area real quick, align it with a shadow color and softly blend this in like that. So just trying to create the form a bit better. That. And going back to add shadow. And then zoom out real quick. So as you can see, we already have the puffer nice and poofy. And going back again with the smudge tool here to quickly help us blend it together. And of course sometimes it might be overly blendy, so I like to go back in once again to add more definition. And I'm just going to add in the shadow where it's needed. Now that we have done the sort of like the base of the jacket, actually before that I really want to make sure this part is smooth. Next, this part. Okay, now that we have, we have that done, like the base, we gotta go ahead and add the purple and the blue. So going back with a bit of, well, I guess it's more of a pink tone, and we're just gonna graze it very, very lightly. And then the blue tone. Let's go with this. So a bit of blue. A bit of blue in there. There we go. So now it's a bit more iridescent, I think. And then we can also just adjust the contrast a bit more so it's even more intense, just I guess a little bit more intense. And yeah, so I think this would be, I think that's a pretty good step, right guys? Except I haven't really touched the head yet, so I think I should work on the face just a bit. Going back to the face, now really focusing on her hair. So lasso that and very subtly create hairline all the way to the back of her head. And maybe even kind of blend the skin tone in with the hair a bit so it feels more blended in and less abrasive. Gonna add a little bit of shadow for hairline shadow just to create that texture. I might not go too crazy with the shadow on the hair because her hair is very colorful, and if I were to add too much shadow it might look too dark and muddy, and we want to make sure her hair is very colorful. So yeah, let me just find a better preview of her hairstyle. Like usually when it comes to character hair, I really want to have a super close preview of her hair. Like I'm insecure or something, I just need to have a super close up shot. It's kind of hard to find actually. Well, I can't really find a super good preview, so I'll just work off of a small in-game model version of her. And she's got cute pink highlights, which is really nice. And what I'll do is just add some more hair texture to this. Okay, have a bit of, oh, hold on. There we go. And then we can, let me see if I can add highlight in like that. Something like that. And raise that eyebrow up. I want it to be more sultry, so we're going to lower the eye some more. Like that. Create a second layer. Sometimes when I'm not super sure about something, I like to use a second layer for it. And then she does have really intense pink lids. Let me just make sure I have a good preview of it. I guess in the splash it's a little different. It's more subtle in the splash. So I'll just open that. Even in the music video it's not super apparent. Let's just go with a pinky color and maybe a bit of blue on the side. Like that. Just kind of shading the lids. And I'm going to bring the eyebrows a bit to the side here. And then blend this out. Same for the eyes. Add a bit of highlight underneath the eye bags. Gotta make sure the eye bags are highlighted, you know. And then a little bit of shadow contouring the nose. And the mouth. And her lips is like super shiny. I need to find a good reference to do shiny lips. Well, it's not super shiny, but I would like it. I would like to paint her lips as super shiny. I'm not the best when it comes to glossy lips, but she's got such luscious lips. I just want to make sure that it's done properly. So I'm gonna look for a reference after. For now, this is what we gonna have. And I'm going to isolate the silhouette side of the mouth, add shadow, probably a bit of shadow here, actually no, here, and a little bit under the lips. Actually might need to add a bit more chin because her mouth is open. Just going to extend the chin just a bit. I guess this should be okay. Actually, let me add the nose shadow like that and paint the nose. And just kind of blend the colors of the skin. Add a bit of tanness and some blush. Okay, maybe not that much blush, maybe more of an orangish tone. Bring that there just a bit. And have a bit of shadow on the tongue itself. Like that. I need a close-up of an actual tongue so I can do a good job on the tongue. Right now it's looking a little flat. So this is before, after. And just work on that eyes. So what I'll do is add a little bit of skin tone here and skin tone here. So it's like a double, the eyelids pretty much definition. Eyelids definition, yes. And then I can go ahead and give her a bit of eyeshadow in the corner here. And then lashes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So as you can see, I maintain a bit of distance of where the fleshy bit is. I'm not touching that area, so it creates a bit of interesting volume, you could say. Interesting separation. Just keep going with the lashes. Yeah, I'm going a bit crazy with the lashes. Like that. And she also has a bit of highlight in the eyes area around here. And then a bit more shadow there. Just raise her eyebrows a bit more, like that. And then we can have a bit of highlight. I'm gonna use the blue as a brow highlight. And just keep going with the lashes. And then, last but not least, bottom lashes. Gonna try to be a bit more stylistic when it comes to the bottom lashes. Just go with that. And then just add a bit of... might be a bit much. I might tone it down, just... But first, gotta add a bit of that hair on top. Like that. And we can just imply a bit of the eyes over the hair. Like that. Supply, lower the lash line a bit like that. And we can do the same here. Apply eye bag highlight and then lower it. Before, after. Let's see. So now I'm just trying to see how we can improve here. I think this eye might be a bit too long. Copy, paste. I'm just going to move this eye a bit over so it's not as long. Drop down shadow. So I can add, actually, here. So I can add a bit of shadow, like that. And same for here. Add the shadow in. And then what I'll do is copy, paste the eye here, and then just kind of change the shape up a bit, make it a little bigger, maybe, like that. And then work on those brows. Like that. Add a little bit of highlight to the corner of the lids. And go in here to refine the jawline now. There we go. So that's what we have. Before, after. So right now, I think, yeah, it's looking okay. I think there needs to be more to be added, but for now, copy paste the section that I just selected, and then I'm going to make that darker, and I can erase it like this and have it blend in with what I've already got. Same here. I wonder if I should make this lighter or darker. So let's try darker. I'm going to make that bit darker like that. And after that, it's going to go ahead and add a bit of texture to the bangs. And now for the ears. The ears have been neglected for a bit, so I gotta go back, add a bit of shadow first, like this, and apply the highlight again over it, and really shade the really shade the ear properly. There we go. And then going back to the hair and just kind of add just a bit of texture to the hair. And let me see here, it needs to be a bit bigger, I think. So what I'll do is copy, paste, and I'm going to kind of make the top just a bit bulk here. Blend that in by erasing, and then finally gotta do the bun now. So the bun is gonna, first I need to use a darker shade just to create the texture of the hair and where it's being kind of going, the direction of the hair. And just bring that down. Now rotate. Let's have a look. Yeah, guess it's okay. Yeah, I think it's a good place to call it a step. So I'm gonna copy merge and put that as our step 4. So let's have a look at what we have so far. Sketch, color phase, it's pretty dull. Adding a bit more color and then a refining. So yeah. Actually, kind of want to see if I can change the angle of her brow here. It's kind of clashing, it feels like. Maybe a little bit higher. And then probably maybe it's too, still want to do a cute sultry look, so maybe a bit higher. Kind of like that, I guess. And I'm gonna go ahead and make the eyes a bit lower on that side, and then add a bit more yellow to her eyes, and even add a little pupil like that. And then add a light sort. I'm not sure if I should. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes not so much. You know what? I think maybe we go without the pupil. You know, sometimes the eye pupil get in the way. Sometimes it's better not to have it. But it really depends on how I render the eyes. Let me try to add a bit of blue in here, and then a bit of blue on the bottom. Nah. Actually, hold on. Maybe add a little bit of light on the bottom. And just kind of blur it, blend it in. And now, time to work on the hair a bit. Let me just add a bit more shadow. I'm going to select the bun and add in the shadow so we can do a bit of hair texture, hair shine texture. And just go ahead and do some short strokes to contour the bun. And I'm going to do the same for the pink portion. I'm going to use a bit of the darker shadow. So that's what we have, so we'll just leave it at that for now. I'm going to go back to the actually go back, no wait, no, we'll do this first. Go back to here and we will do the choker collar. I'm trying to see what's okay, the collar, right? So it's gonna be gold. Let's start off by just doing the basic shape, and then you can see that there's true damage written on it, so or something like that. So let's just go ahead and do a rough true, some letters just to have it on there, and after that go back in for shadow. And of course gotta make sure everything's nice and clean. Let me zoom in a bit more. Luckily the canvas I made is quite good in terms of size, because we can zoom in and really make sure it's nice and refined. Let's also make sure this is also nice and refined. Select the corner of the L, the arm, so that we can start adding shadow and also refining it. I'm going to add a highlight here, shadow here, and we're just going to softly, actually, select this bit, and we're just going to darken this area. And then, I guess gradually, actually, let me just make a separate layer so I can go back whenever I want. Let's bring this up a bit and then bring the shadow down a bit. And also very subtly bring up the shadow here, up, like that. And blur and blend. Let's go here real quick. And then next, this part. And the elbow here. There we go. And I'm going to include just a little bit of highlight here. I'm also going to paint the arm squish. Gotta paint that arm squish. And just going to bring all the way around the shadow. Like that. And going back here, isolate it so that I can gradually add in the shadow for the arm. Like that, very soft. Put that there. And same for here. I'm just going to kind of shade the skin there. And here too. Here I'm just gonna leave it as it is, because I do want the squish to be more obvious, so we're not gonna have a shadow. Actually, I'm going to bring this up a bit like that, and just add a bit of highlight there, and go add a bit of shadow. And then the side too. There we go. Before, after. I'm gonna try to sharpen this a bit. Let's go ahead and select the collarbone. Add just the teeniest bit of lighting. And especially for deeper skin tones, blue is such a good color to really soften the skin tone. For pale characters as well, blue is also a good color. It's like an overall pretty good neutral tone to really soften the skin tone. Skin shadow, yes. And on the shoulder, add a little dark shadow on the top. Copy, paste. I'm going to bring this closer to the arm, like that. Zoom out real quick. Okay, I think I know what's missing. So first, there we go. And second, I need to touch up on the cleavage on the side. But before I do that too, gonna go into the puffer, and we're just going to start by adding some of the what's it called, the shine. So what I'll do is I'm gonna select in this sort of shape, triangle, half the triangle, and I'm going to pick a light color, probably this color, and we're just going to make it shiny. Sometimes gotta remove some of that soft shine so it's a bit more harsh, like that. And of course, what really helps to emphasize the shiny bit is to have a bit of reflectiveness. So in this case, add a bit of that skin tone reflecting on the other side of the puffer. And the rest is just blend, blend, blend. And on top of that, we can even use a even shinier tip for the puffer. Okay, shade that, and then apply highlight on the top to really emphasize the reflectiveness of the material. You know, it feels like it can end up being super shiny and end up looking a little weird. What you can do then is just to reduce it to make it not as shiny, but we'll do that after this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same procedure on this side. Like that. here too. And for here, what I'll do is do it on this side, and we'll do a bit of a reflective thing. Pick a purplish color, just the same as the puffer, the white puffer part, and then we'll do this again. And let's go with a shiny look. Like that. Just creates a bit of shine, but not too much. And then, let's see what else we could do. Let's kind of blend that in a bit more. And I think it should be okay. I'm going to, actually I kind of want to might redo this, or even just erase that bit. Merge down, and what I'll do is I want to do like a bit of a monogram on the jacket, so we can do, actually should we? We can do L for League of Legends. I was gonna do LV, but then I was like, no, I don't want to get in trouble for that. So I can do little L's everywhere. This might be more of a girl thing. I'm not sure if you guys are into luxury, but yeah. Just have like little L's everywhere. For League of Legends monogram. So after I do that, I can go ahead and kind of shade it slightly to add a bit of dimension, but not too much. And shade it appropriately. There we go. And of course, gotta go back here. It is aligned with a gold strip, so we'll go ahead and do that. Line that as a gold strip. There we go. And add a bit of shadow to the gold strip. There we go. And here too. And of course, I'm gonna add just a bit of shadow. I mean highlight to the top here, this part. Add some shadow here now, just to make the gold really pop. Like that. So now it's actually pretty good to have a variety of different materials. So I have the gold, the shiny PVC material, and a bit of a matte, so that creates interest in outfits. And usually I try to do that when I do outfits, and it's just part of adding in additional details as well. And what we could do here is we could do LL, because you know, can't do LV because that's copyright. Especially, I don't know what the I'm not sure the precautions for like drawing fan art of Louis Vuitton, so not gonna even try, because I know Disney is very strict on that. So So I know some of you have suggested painting the new Elsa, but I don't even know if I should. Don't want to get into trouble for that, so for now, stick with that. And just kind of adding the little detail for it, and also can go back to the color and do similar thing. So just kind of outline the choker. It's a more of a technical process, not too much thinking, just kind of outlining, and then maybe add a bit of shadow inside, or just to some of the areas. It's not too difficult because you don't really have to think. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a bit of shine. See if adding a bit of shine would make this look better. Yes, it does. It does. Now this part probably needs a bit more work, and just going to extend this down for now. I wonder if I can do a L here. Let's do a L there. Alright guys, let's continue. I think we really need to work on that collar of hers, so it's not super needs to be a bit more, have a bit more shading to it. Yes, that's the word. So I'm just going to go ahead and redo shading a bit. Like that. And I'm gonna go ahead with a even shinier color, or brighter color, to add even more contrast to the piece. Add a bit of highlight there, so that it really stands out against the skin. Maybe it needs to be a bit brighter like this. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Let's make it a bit brighter like that. And make this a bit brighter too. Gonna add some highlight here. There we go. And of course, there's a bit of detailing on her neck as well. Let me just try to make sure I do this right. Create another layer in case I don't do it right. Oh god. Is that I think it's somewhat like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. And just make the straps a bit thicker. And add a bit more thickness. So it's gonna be something like this. Maybe I should bring it down here. And then bring this up a bit. And then just going down here, shade it up. There we go. Just clean that shape up. And also here, gotta clean that up too. And just before, after. Let's isolate the shoulder once again. And we're just gonna do that by adding some shadow there. Going back to the neck to shape it a bit better and merge down. And as for the white bit, what I'll do first, copy, paste, and I'm gonna bring this up a bit so it's nice and clean and even. And then I'm gonna rotate. And I'm gonna write that in. I wonder if I can do like a, or is this too weird? Okay, let me just zoom in and see if I can use the truedamage logo as a monogram thingy. Alright guys, so this is the truedamage icon, so I'll just be selecting that, bring it down here. You know what, this kind of, I guess this kind of reminds me of the brand Off-White just a bit in terms of feel, not the design in particular. But let's see if, yeah, I'm gonna have to write truedamage there. So what I'll do is put that in and then true. I need to use a different font. Let's use impact. Impact is pretty, oh god, that is not impact. There we go. What? Where is it? Where is truedamage? Sorry, impact. Impact. There we go. There we go. Now that looks more like it. And I gotta make sure it's written in, there we go, written in big letters, and then just have to I'll edit it later, but for now I think they should be okay. And I'm gonna try to see if I can space out the letters a bit. Space. I think it's this. So let's do 200. Oh god. Oh no, that's not it. Never mind, that's not spacing. Oh yes, here we go. There we go. So just space that out a bit. And then duplicate. I'm gonna bring it over here. Damn it. There we go. Let's see if we can tweak this so it kind of matches to... I might have to turn this into an image, then I can do it. So when you have a font file, it's very hard to manipulate, so we gotta turn this into a normal file. As you can see, this is a font file, and there's not... Oh, wait, you can? Hold on a sec. Warp. Wait, what? Why is it not working? So yeah, it's... There isn't as much options, so I'll just turn this into a normal file, and then I can play around with it. Let's warp that up. There we go. And merge it down. And then what I'll do is... kind of want to see if I can play around with this a bit, like maybe I can add a little LL on the side or something. Like that, and then upside down. Kind of like the brand Fendi. So that's my thought process to this. Feels like this needs to be just a bit bigger. This one needs to be done properly, it's really messy. So I'll have this for now. I'm going to use that, and then down here we can... I kind of wanted to add the the little designer icon. So what I'll do is do like a knockoff of it, just so I'm not in trouble. So what I could do is do this, and then circle. Maybe something like this, like a snowflake kind of deal. Yeah, I think we can just do it kind of like that, and then we can have it go all the way down. So all I have to do is have to edit them one by one, like that. And then what I'll do is add the let's do LL. Actually, this isn't really that good looking. What if I do it this way or this way? Oh, actually, what I can do is also use this. Let's use this. So I'm going to include this down here. gonna keep that there, and then going back to this, could go down. There we go. And last but not least, need another one of this to put up here. So let's put this one up here like that. And there we go. This is our designer pattern. And I can also do that too. Oh, hold on. Do that here too. Put a bit of this on the side here. Like that. Yep, and I'm going to make this a little bit paler. There we go. And let's see what else we can do. I also kind of wanted to put these on the bra too, but first I think that the bra needs to be a bit lighter, like more of a baby pink. So that's what I'll do. Going to lighten it up a bit more, like this color. And just erase to blend. There we go. And let's see if I can incorporate this up here. So I'm thinking I need to do let's see how it's placed usually. 1 second. I'm gonna put this up here. And then I think it's like this. Hold on. And then let's add this thing. Or actually, so let's do L. Actually, L. Let's do something like that or something. Let's put that there. So this is the okay, there needs to be one more here. And then one more. Actually, hold on 1 second. Bring this down. And then copy these 3 and then bring it down here. Okay, perfect. So that's the pattern I'm gonna go with. So now that I've created my pattern, I'm going to see how I can incorporate that. Hmm. I think there needs to be pattern needs to be a bit wider. Let's see. Like that. Okay, now that should be wide enough. And I'm just going to kind of put that on there, and of course remove the excess, and let's go brighten. I did want to make them white. Maybe a light like that. And then can do on the other side too. It's not as like, well, I tried. I thought it was gonna look a little bit different, but let's go to normal and do this manually. So I'm gonna be, let's shade this different manually. Let's add some iridescent. In here, like that. And then kind of fix and clean that up. I think that looks pretty interesting. And let's just blur this a bit more. Let's call this logos. Of course, she's got a black mesh underneath here. So I'm going to just select the area. And probably here too, actually. Copy, paste, and then lower the opacity just by a bit. And just going for a more subtle look, a more sheer look. So going to do that. Gonna do a little seam detail on the side. So it's almost gonna be sheer. And then see if I can add this onto the sheer part. I think that will look pretty cool. I'm gonna duplicate this real fast and try to see if I can sort of incorporate this into the overall design. And I have to do this by different sections. hold on. Have to do with another batch. So here. And then remove. Let's zoom out. I mean flip. And for this part, let's see if I can change the color so it's more obvious. It's a different section. Actually, maybe it would be. Now let's keep the logo. Okay, so let's see. It's missing a bit of logo on top. So I'm gonna merge this down for now. I'm going to bring back another batch here and put that in, and then of course delete, remove that, and then another batch to cover this area here. And of course, gotta clean that up after. Inverse delete, lower the opacity. So this will also be part of that. Let me see if I can. Go. Maybe we can. Ooh, that looks kind of fun. Like a purple-ish. I kind of like this. Wonder if I can make this a bit more prominent. I kind of like the purple look. Or kind of like this. This also works. We can also play around with the color to see if we can make it look more interesting. And of course with that, we gotta remove this. Make sure that shows up. And also this. Actually I'm not sure if I should keep it or not. It might be a bit too much, so we might just keep it normal like that. I'm just thinking, maybe I can change the shape of this and it might look a little better. Let me see if I should extend this. Nah, let's just keep it as it is. Kind of feel like it would be cool if her top was really shiny, like sequins shiny. Other than that, I'm just trying to see if I think it's either this or this. see if I can lower this a bit. Yeah, I kind of like it like that, but not sure about the top. That's the only thing. I'm just playing around with the layer mode. Sometimes, you know, you can find some interesting functions. I think I'll just go with the normal. And then flip it. And of course, gotta give her earrings, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So for the earrings, let's go ahead and block in the shape of it. Alright, let's get to her earrings, which are actually quite interesting. It's like Q, which is pretty cute actually. So I'm just gonna have that there, have the rough shape going, and then after we can add the details. So start off by adding in some of the gold elements. Just have that there. I'm going to kind of clean that up, clean that up at the same time. Clean the ear section, then put the shadow of where the earring connects. And of course we have to make sure the earrings are nice and shiny. So after we have established the shape and the shadow, going in with the highlight. And also adding in a bit of shadow in between those highlights to create a shiny look. That. So there we have it, and I think this is pretty much almost done. Just need to do a bit of editing here and there and whatnot. I'm gonna go here and add a bit of, actually probably not there, but okay, here on the top. Add a bit of shine to the hair, same with the pink. Gonna go ahead and add a bit of shine to the pink as well. And just kind of bring that in to the side of the hair. Like that. I think she has like something on her tongue, tattooed on her tongue, or on her tongue. Let's do this. I think that's what it says. It's pretty funny. People are commenting about how toxic that is. And it's funny how Riot had that in the music video, which was funny. But I don't think I'll be doing too much of a detailed pass on it. Alright, just looking for some references for lips. So gonna try to see if I can make the lips a bit glossier. So first add a bit of sorry, lighter tone on the edge of the lips, and then afterwards seems that there is like very, very white highlight lines like that, and then there's some very, very small ones at the edge as well. So I think that's how it seems like to me when I Google lip gloss on how it looks. Okay, so I guess that's what we have. And before we do anything, gotta work on those ears some more. I know I kind of neglect the ears quite a bit. Ears is sort of like hands to me, whereas I'm not super into painting them, so I just neglect them. But yeah, let's have that there. There we have it. Maybe we can have the eyes open up a bit. Kind of want to make her kind of smile-ish, but I don't know if it's doable with if she sticks out her tongue and stuff. Cause I don't think you can do that in real life, and sometimes I do paint based on real life reference, and it's kind of hard to imagine. But anyways, get that shadow going. There we go. Extend the bangs. Zoom out. So that's what we have. Could probably, oops, do a bit more to add more details actually. But first I feel like I want to fix the background. Yes, I think that should be priority number one. So I'll try to fix it, and I will get back to you guys ASAP. Hey guys, so I'm back. I did do some work off camera. I just wanted to show you guys what they were. So first, what I did was, as I said, I was gonna tackle the background differently. So this was the background before, however I didn't find it as interesting. I didn't think it fitted her because I wanted her to look like high-end, right? And like a celebrity and high-end at the same time. Anyways, so I did find this really cool chandelier looking background on Adobe stock, so I took that from there and I edited slightly by kind of increasing the brightness in some of the areas, especially around her. And then this isn't much, but it's like a color filter that I put on, and then I applied a exclusion layer, so it changed the color. I thought that was kind of interesting. And then I also put the monogram that I created on there. And then last but not least, I put a bit of shiny. So this layer is a shine layer. So that is the background for that. I think it looks better than what we had before. So I went with that. However, I do think that perhaps I need a bit of... There we go. Now it's better because I really want her neck to show better. So I wanted to see if I can increase the brightness so that we can have a nice contour framing of the character. So now we are gonna go back to the character. Oh yes, and also I changed the face. I did a bit of a refining to the face, as you can see. Might have to redo the GG easy on her tongue, but this is what I have for that. So 1 second. I just want to make sure that everything's clean. And also, let me just copy, paste. Wanted to see if I should increase or move the eye over just a bit. Kind of like it like that. So yeah, this is what I have for her face. I did want to do it off camera because if I were to do the face on camera, it would take a very long time, like a few hours, because you know, sometimes I'm really fussy about faces. I just want to skip that part because if not, I'm going to be focusing on the nose for like, who knows, 30 minutes. Or the eyes. Actually, the eyes probably the most complicated part when I get too engrossed in painting the face. But anyways, this is what I have. I just wanted to show you guys. And yep. Oh yes, and I also changed the color of the monogram on her bikini I made. I thought it might look cooler if it was more colorful. I might even increase the color of it. Actually, for down here, I feel like it might be a bit much. I'm going to go ahead and let me see if I can change the color. Maybe something like that, so like blue and orange. Blue and orange I think is a pretty cute color. So that's what we have. And these are in different layers just in case. I'm not sure if I want to keep this because I like it without it, but I think with it, it does add interest. I wonder if I can also... No, I don't think I can. What I'll do next is just kind of remove the stuff that's popping up. Now, time to refine some of these details. So first what I'll do, since it is pretty shiny on the outside, I'm gonna try to bring the shine through in these straps. So just pretty much additional details on there. It's just gonna be a bit of a highlight here and there, and then shadow as well. So the strap will appear very, very shiny. There we go. And I'm just looking back and forth, see what I can do. Probably I need to be working on the face a bit more, especially the ear and the hair part. So what I'll do is create another layer because I don't want to mess anything up in case I always go back if it's on a separate layer. And with that, just going in and start refining pretty much. Bring the ear in. And I also would like to add a bit of highlight, rim light to the hair, since the background is of a pretty bright, so could imagine that there would be lights casted on the hair. And as for the ear, I'm gonna use a bit of blue on the side, and then just the tiniest bit of highlight. Like that. And what I'll do, select the corner of the ear and then gonna go ahead and sort of add in a bit of shadow. This, and just gradually paint it upwards. also here too. So let's see, gonna try to, I think, let me try with this color. So I'm trying to find a highlight color for the top of the head. I think this should be a good one. And we're just gonna use that to stand out a bit more, to really increase the brightness. And as for the pink, let's go for more of a baby pink. And we're just gonna go ahead and do what we did for the other side of the hair so that it stands out more. So yeah, this is what we have for that. And of course we're going to do that for the top of the bun as well. Let me zoom in here so we can tackle this a bit more in a zoomed in version so that it's easier to handle details. So just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna try to select a color to, I'm gonna put another layer. I am going to apply, let me pick another color, attempt to apply a shine color into the hair. So I'm trying, this instance, trying with the color purple to see if that works. Well, it's not the best. So if that doesn't work, let's try different. I think purple is probably the best option. So I'm gonna stick with purple and see if we can sort of like finesse it a bit. I also used this color right here. Don't know why, but just wanted to see if it would give any good results. And then I'm going to contour. So it's all about experimenting. This is probably the most experimental because I'm not sure if the shine will be adequate enough for my taste. So just going to kind of carry through that. And also bring that highlight all the way through the silhouette of the head itself, all the way down. And just kind of go with the same direction. And let's see if we can add a bit of highlight to the hair itself on the edge, like that. And then we're gonna have some, oh god, some hair hanging around the corner. Like that. And I'm gonna use a darker color to kind of contour the lighter tones. Maybe have a little bit of it here too. And I'm gonna use a bit of dark color again. I'm gonna be including a bit of her skin tone in the hair part. Trying to see if I can create a more natural hairline for her, because usually, well, realistic hairline, but not realistic face. So everything else realistic except the face. And continue on with the little hair on the edge. Going back to the bangs. Just gonna go with some more textures on top. Same for the bangs here. I think the front bang probably needs a bit more texture wise. It's missing quite a bit. So what I'll do is kind of create that texture by painting in the skin tone and then the hair texture. What I'll do is extend the pink a bit more and then go in a hair-like texture. And I wonder if I should also extend the blue. Let's use the same highlight. I'm just gonna add it to the very edge here, and then we're going to add the shadow back in. Same for here. Highlight and then shadow in. What we can also do is add some one-off hairs kind of flowing around. It just adds a bit more to it. And then a bit of hair strands. So before, after. We're just going to rotate this once again. Before, after. Let me just erase this subtly. Sometimes it might be too much, so we can sort of erase it slightly. Bring up the color, the highlight, going back to the pink highlights. And then what I'll do is extend this. Let's add some of the pink highlights to the roots, and then add some highlight towards the end there. And then proceed to refine the bun some more. Some more highlight on the top of the bun, the blue part. I can even add some hair sticking out, because that's always a more natural look. At least that's what I usually like to do, just add a bit of hair strand sticking out. Let's extend the bangs some more. And then extend this. I feel like it would be really cute if the tip of her side bang was pink, like a bubble gradient. That would be so cute. Just gonna go ahead and do that. Till here. And then gradually bring more light. Maybe add a bit of the skin toning to the hair. Sometimes I like doing that just to make the hair a bit more neutral. But that's what we have. Let me bring back some of that deep color. Before, after. Let me see if I can make it a bit more colorful. Before, after, kind of like before, but I'm going back to that. Zoom out real quick. I mean, zoom in. Tackle some of this detail. Again, using darker colors to there we go. Highlight the top, and then what I'll do is merge down, and then what we'll do is going to dark select this color. I'm gonna go for more of a turquoise color and re-edit the color a bit to this, something a bit more blue and more prominent. Merge down to the head layer, go back to normal, and continue refining. I'm gonna add a bit of soft glow under the button here, and also gonna add some hair texture there. Unlock the layer and kind of extend that hair texture, and then going back to the hair, especially at the top. Actually, I'm not too sure what I do want to make the hair a bit more high contrast, so up that contrast a bit more, just because I really want it to stand out against the background. The background is pretty overwhelming right now, so just having the brightness of the hair highlight really helps to create a good contrast. And usually you won't be able to figure that out until almost towards the end, when you have the background locked in and everything. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that, and as you can see, it does create a nice intense looking highlight to the hair, and we're just going to somewhat blend that into the hair. Blend the highlight in, and I am using the in between of the solid round brush and the airbrush to do this. And I want to see if I can add a bit of rim light to the bun underneath, like that. Nice, it does add a nice little rim light, which is good. Maybe add a bit here. It doesn't work that way. Okay, let me remove it. Let's add a strand of hair here. Okay, remove that. So I'm gonna go with that, and then what I'll do with the face is create a layer, constrain it down to the head, and we are going to add some rim light to the face. So the rim light, I'm not sure if I want to go with this color. Maybe we can do a yellow color instead. Let's go with a yellow color. And after I do the rim light, as you can see, the lashes are being covered up, so going back to add in the lashes and the shadow of the eyes. And to add a bit of glow to the cheeks. and a bit of blush too. Just kind of color that down. Pretty much it's just about adding a bit of shadow here and there. Might be a bit much. I don't want her cheek to look too crazy sunken in. Okay, and extend the hair down a bit. Add some more tiny hairs. And I'm gonna try to add some rim light to the face. We're gonna try using this color, and I'm gonna bring that color all the way down here. And then, actually, let me just make it a bit more prominent. Not sure if this is a good color. We'll have to test it out. Maybe we can use more yellowish tone like that. Maybe not have it so prominent. Can also have it on the shoulder too. But then the shoulder needs to be a bit more darker for that to happen, so that I can actually put in a bit of glow on the shoulder. So like that, and just kind of highlight it. I'm gonna erase a bit of that, and add a bit more highlight to the ear. And maybe a bit on the shoulder. And on the shoulder too. Bit down here. Just gonna bring that down here a bit more. Just going to soften it. And then of course gotta put a bit of that skin tone into the dark puffy fabric of the jacket. That way it reflects a bit of the skin tone. Just adds that extra variation in color that really helps bring the jacket to life, you could say, or create a softer look. So we can make it look more uniform in a way. All to the side here. There we go. And then I'm gonna try to see if I can bring some of that shine. Bring it into the jacket. Just bring it down. Like that. Zoom out real quick. Yeah, it's definitely looking a bit better. So that's before, after. Just adding that bit of shine really helps. I might even add a bit of skin texture on the shoulder later on, but for now, I'm gonna work on this part. Gonna extend the color. And just going to bring down, and also I'm gonna use a bit of the background color to help me, so that it kind of reflects it in the dark material, and it might make a bit more sense. So again, taking the background color and then sort of painting that in to the dark fabric. Let me just clean that up. Put that there. Like that. And I'm gonna put a little bit of it on this part too. And maybe a bit of purple. Same for here, using the color in the background. And this part too. And next what I'll do is kind of want to add a bit of a, how do you say, a bit of light on top of the cleavages. It's funny saying it. The other side now. And what else? I think it's getting there. Just have to keep adding some of these details on the dark part, but in a more subtle way. Just gonna add a bit of purple here. And then what I'll do is gonna start by adding very, very sharp highlight to the L's, just so they stand out. And then after that, I'm just gonna line the gold part here. And of course, gotta bring that all the way down to the puffer like that, and there we have it. One last thing I want to do, oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention to you guys is that I did make her hips bigger because she is curvy, like she is extra curvy, so I did make her hips bigger. Now I just want to correct the way this is shaded. I kind of want to go for a, what's it called, a oil spill look, just like the new collection. think that will look really cool. So got a bit of that, and have a bit of oil, a bit of orange. Actually, I probably need to get a reference for that. Alright guys, I got the reference and it is funky. So there is a bit of purple on the side here, and then there's like a darker color, and then there is a very prominent green highlight. So let me just have that. It goes all the way down, and then we have black around the green highlight. And then we have the other colors as well. Just gonna bring that up. And just kind of bring that up on this side here. Like that. We're gonna have one last bit of highlight on the side, and that's gonna be this color. So very subtly I'm going to softly kind of paint that in, and then smudge that. So when it comes to smudge on a bigger canvas, I find it does lag, so oftentimes I try not to use smudge, usually use the standard round brush and then airbrush, using those two brushes to blend. And I think, oh yes, I use a bit of this to blend that in. Add that in. Or actually, should it be a bit more curved like this? Let's make it a bit more curved like that. What I'll do is add a bit more purple. Use color and add purple, and then add green in there, and then going with a smudge tool to blend it in, and then adjust it to be a bit more intense, like that. There we go. Alright guys, we are almost done. So right now I'm gonna try to add some effects and stuff. Usually that's what I do with my other pieces. So gonna go in here and add a bit of glow to the hair, especially towards the top. Add a bit of glow coming from the cube here, and a bit coming from the background. Just adds that extra little something to the whole piece, adds a nice shine to the piece, also shine to the character as well. I'll probably add a little bit underneath the bun here. And then what I'll do, we're gonna create another layer. In this layer we're gonna be adding in some extra sparkles, especially on the skin. Maybe you can add a bit here. So what's special about this, I'm gonna lock it in, and we're going to do a bit of gradient. So blue, and then we'll do pink. So I'm gonna add a bit of pink now. So it just creates a bit more of an interesting lighting. We put it here, or let's just put it there. Just a bit of extra lighting, and we can test out different modes. That, and then we can also add a bit of shine to these areas too. Make it nice and shiny. Like that. Maybe not as bright. Like, keep it like that. So we can do something like that. And also I wanted to do a bit of shine on the earrings as well, sort of like that. Very subtle. Well, it's actually not that subtle, but just a bit of shine. And put one here too. Let me just merge that down, and then put one here. Put one here but smaller. Just kind of having some shiny bits here and there. Add one here, and then on the tip of this metallic part too, and especially on that part. Actually, let me close it. Here. And also especially around there. This part needs to be very, very shiny. There we go. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That walkthrough was pretty fun for me. I wanted to do a bit more Western inspired stuff, because usually when I paint, I draw more Asian influence, like anime style, or more Korean inspired, or Final Fantasy. So this one is a little bit more Western. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that process. I hope it was sort of helpful, or at least a good background noise for those of you who are kind of like me that paints and have a video off to the side. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next voiceover, and take care guys, and have a great day. See you guys later.